Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. You guys know what time it is. Time for another Orc Mode workout. And for those of you who watch these videos every day, the training vlogs, please click like down below. Otherwise it'll only get like 20 likes. And there's those 5 guys that run a dislike bot. And I'll end up with 10 dislikes for every like, even though tons of you people clearly watch and enjoy this every day. So please remember to click like. It won't take any time out of your day and it would be appreciated. Thank you. So reach down there and do that. So today we did the dead stop pin benches again. Got a PR on it. I went an inch lower. So what I'm doing with this is that I'm adjusting range of motion as I go. I'm doing some of these different lifts where I'm going to show you guys that for the different conjugate lifts, we can do progressive range of motion. We can mess with bands. We can mess with chains. There's a lot of different stuff you can do that gets you different lift variations and that you can max against. And what people need to remember, and I've explained repeatedly when discussing maxing and rotating maxes, it's not about carryover. So a lot of people are like, well, Jason, you've said that partials don't give full strength carryover, etc. That's correct. And we're not using it for that purpose. And when you understand that, we're good to go. Right? That's what you have to understand. This isn't being done to build strength. This is not being done to build strength or maximum hypertrophy. Like if you were doing rep work like this off these pins, it would be really, really stupid. And if I was doing rep work like that off these pins, I would be calling myself out. What we're doing, we're hitting a max. We're learning to strain, and we're having dozens of different max effort lifts to where we have different angles and strength curves to where we train them all to a max and we look for the weak links. Okay, that's what we're doing. I managed a PR on this compared to the 1 inch higher. Managed to get 10 pounds heavier today, because this one broke fairly good, and I'm starting to find my groove. Because I'm going back to medium and close grip benching, I'm finding my groove where I've got the most power. And that's one of the perks of messing with some of these minor partials, where you just take several inches out of the range of motion, sometimes out of the bottom, and you're maxing against them. What you oftentimes find is that there's only one position you can actually move the weight from. When you start getting above 90%, or above 95%, like in this case, you don't have variations from where you can actually lift from. In other words, if you try to start the weight from the wrong position, it won't move. All right, that makes it a training tool. It makes it a valuable training tool because it teaches you where to find your leverages. All right, it teaches you where to find your leverages. That will carry over to your other lifts as a learning tool because you're having to lift maximum weight from an awkward dead stop angle. It's only going to be one exact bar path you'll be able to break the weight from the bottom from. And if you're off by an inch, the weight won't move. You'll have to adjust yourself till you find it. Won't that make you better at the main exercises? Because now that you have a more efficient bar path, of course it does. Plus you learn how to strain. Then I did close grip benches, and I've realized I need to focus on the JM press. And the JM press went horrible at first today, until I went back and watched Blakely's stuff on it. Because I've realized everyone but Blakely, J.M. Blakely, who it's named after, is a really bad resource for this exercise. There's so much garbage information out there that it's been more or less corrupted, and I've learned so much bad stuff that even today, after I watched this thing, came and tried to do a bunch of sets and build up taking his advice. It was wrong. It was terrible. I was doing what he was saying you do wrong, till I got to the final 3 sets. And then I got it locked in and said, oh my God, it makes sense. And I went and watched him do it again in between my sets from the side view, and this epiphany hit me. And I realized this is how it works. But by then, my triceps were so fatigued that 95 pounds just crushed me. But we did close grip bench today with 225 for 5 sets of 10. Now, a lot of people say, Jason, 225 close grip shouldn't be that hard for you. Well, I just hit a 1 rep max off of a pin, so that fatigued me. And 5 sets of 10 is pretty hard. I'm not going to lie. It's not like just coming in and doing 1 set, guys. 5 sets of 10, it adds up. Plus, I'm noticing, too, kind of my bar path differences. What felt like the better bar path with a wider grip is not the same with my closed grip. Okay, I'm finding some differences. When I come off the pins, I find the same thing. When the reps get harder, when I pause down at the bottom, I've got a different bar path than what I know is ideal based on those pins. So a lot of this is teaching me again to learn how to groove in and find these positions. Since I'm going to only close grip bench in the future, I've just got to dial in close grip benching and medium grip benching, and I've got to build all the muscles involved. Now, let's talk about the weak point training. Triceps, that was all medial and long head of the tricep. they were lit up from doing those pen presses. They were lit up. And the same thing, I know they're the key to my close grip. I've got to just build tricep, tricep, tricep. My triceps have to get big like footballs. Like, that is the only way my bench is ever going to go up. Okay? Just like you guys have watched me do all this with the squat, watch me do all this with the deadlift, all these lifts have gone up tremendously. Right, it's time for the bench press. And this is where I have to give a serious analysis of my weak points. Look at what's going on. I need to just get my pressing strength up in general, and we've reached some epiphanies. Number one, we know it's all tricep for me. Okay, it's all tricep. Number two, I am way stronger, more powerful, and less injury prone with narrower grips on every single press. I don't care whether it's a chest press, a shoulder press. Wide grip is not good for me. I'm weak, I'm slow, and I strain my shoulders. Everything's got to be about that close grip. Got to be about the close grip. So I realized the JM press has the potential to really, really, really take me to another level because of the nature of the exercise. And I realized I needed to perfect it today. So I started off just taking Blakely's advice and trying to follow what I remembered from his video watching it this weekend. And I started with like 95 pounds at bunch sets 10 and started ramping up. And by the time I got to, 135 on there, which happened after several sets, we still have close grip benching going in the background, it started feeling shoulder dominant again. And I reached an epiphany. I keep trying to make it into a close grip bench press over my throat. I keep letting my elbows drift all the way down. Okay, it's supposed to be a 45-degree angle. Not flared, not tucked, right in the middle. This hand position is correct once you figure out how to do it, because I mess with different hand positions. But you don't let your elbows drop all the way down. They stay up, and it turns into a skull crusher. You guys will watch when I get to it. I just keep going, and I ramp up, and I get up to the 135s, and then they're actually challenging, but not hard. Even with me trying to maintain the correct tuck and everything that he demonstrates, and then I realize I'm dropping my elbows too. Like, why am I turning it into a deep press like that? It's supposed to be a tricep exercise coming out of the bottom. Like, look how low I bring my elbows down. I'm just turning it into a close grip guillotine press is all I'm doing. And then my shoulders start feeling it. I didn't notice it here. I felt a lot of tricep here, but then again, I just done a bunch of close grip pressing. So I'm like, well, I feel my triceps. This must be better, right? And then I ramped and ramped and ramped. I get to 135 and realize this is a delt exercise for me. My front delts are taking over. But I've got strong front delts. You guys have seen me strict press 225 plus, right, standing. I'm slightly stronger at the press always than I have been this last year than the bench. My delts will take over on things like this if I get in a bad position, but that's what I'm doing. Look at my elbows down there at the bottom. This isn't a JM press. This is just me letting the bar drift up on a close grip press pretty much, right? That's all I'm doing. Thus making my delts even take over more. But when I got up heavier and I realized that was it, I adjusted. And you guys will see when I do the third set with 135, I try to use his technique. Then I find I can't get my wrists right. They're breaking back, trying to use a false grip. But then I felt my triceps, but I couldn't do 10 reps anymore. Because these weren't that challenging. I just started ramping up, doing sets of 10, sets of 10. And when I got to the 135, trying to do it where I didn't let the elbows come all the way down, and I actually tried to do a tricep extension out of the very bottom, like a skull crusher. It's still a multi-joint exercise because it's a press with a skull crusher kind of out of the bottom. Mother of God. I realized that's it. So I had to drop all the way back down to 95, and I did 2 sets of 10, and I felt my triceps. Not only did I feel my triceps, but I felt them cramp up in the exact same area I felt on the heaviest couple of singles off of that pin press. Okay, let's come over and talk about weak point training. If when you hit a max on an exercise, you have a certain head of a muscle that hurts, you know that muscle was doing everything that it could, and it probably is your limit on that exercise. When I finally got the JM press right, because this isn't right here, this is still me playing around. This is me basically It's a front delta exercise at this point. I mean, it's working triceps. Don't get me wrong, I felt my triceps. But when I got into that real close grip, the elbows cocked up, or the wrist cocked up, and I don't let the elbows come all the way down, and I turn it into a skull crusher at the bottom. I felt my triceps exactly like on that pen press, but for a bunch of reps. Okay, there's our secret. Now I've got it dialed in. So next workout, we'll come in, we'll do 5 sets of 10 with that way. Now, I skipped on the chain work because my triceps were finished. After I did a couple of sets of it correctly, after doing all this goofing off and doing all the other tricep work, all the close grip presses, my triceps are done. I don't have anything left to do the chains today. I don't have anything left to do the chains today. This exercise was enough. This was enough. It had everything lit up. So we're going to focus on mastering it. And we'll work the chains and other stuff back in, because I think they're real valuable. I think they're very valuable. But this exercise, now this is where it's done correctly. This, I felt, right? Look at the difference. See, the elbows are up and then I'm letting it turn into triceps right there. Now, if I stall on this, this is an exercise I can see chains. Chains on top of this. This would be an exercise to put chains on. I mean, I take it with straight weight as long as I can, but if it starts to have any tendinitis, chains would be next level for this again. But there we go. This was triceps. This destroyed my triceps. All right, this is going to be the key. This close grip bench pressing and this, for my volume work, I think this is going to be what I need to bring things up. It's going to hypertrophy those triceps. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.